Now coming into the square, our first vehicle representing the Union County Sheriff's Office, U.S. Navy, previously U.S. Navy technician, first class petty officer, Lieutenant Julio Cruz. Glad to have you with this morning, Lieutenant. Appreciate your being out. Next, we have the North Georgia Honor Guard coming through. Good morning, gentlemen. Next, we have the best overall color guard, the Blue Ridge Mountain Chapter Sons of the American Revolution. Second place in the Civic. Next, we have a group of those good folks who are always happy to be available to our veterans and being veterans themselves. We have a lot of these guys around that also are attending funerals and a number of other things that go on.
Roy Ham, I'm going to stop him and you say as much as you can about Roy.
All right. Coming into our square now is Roy Hamby. Roy is the Parade Grand Marshal. He's a retired U.S. Army Command Sergeant and past manager of Blairsville Field Office for the Georgia Department of Veterans Service. Roy has been a long-time member of our parade, and we're happy to have him. And keep up the good work, Roy, even though you are retired. We know you do go after things. Good work.
Sorry, but I like him. I'm kind of perfectionist.
Next, we have our mayor coming into the square, Mayor Jim Conley, Mayor of Blairsville. Jim, it's good to see you out on this morning, and I appreciate you for arranging the rain to stay away for a while. Thank you, Jim. Next, we have Rick Hack coming in. He is a state of Georgia Veterans Foreign War District 2 commander and a former United States Marine. Good to have you with us. And right behind him, we have Senator Gooch representing our area. Glad to have you with us, Senator. And next, one of the hardest working persons in the Union County, our Commissioner, Lamar Parrish. Now, you will notice his seat is empty there on his vehicle, always working for us. Lamar, we appreciate you. Next, the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 11 here in Blairsville. Commander is Skip Fishback, and Senior Vice Commander Art Patchen. Chevy, glad to have you guys with us. Appreciate your work.
Number 18.
Number 18, the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 28 from Blue Ridge. We have a World War II veteran, a gentleman I've known for a number of years, Dale Dyer. Dale, we're glad to have you with us up here, bud. And next, we have a group that I'm very proud of, the Union County High School Marching Band, under the direction of Will Stafford. Good morning, guys. Play well, play on. Next, we have Troop 101 of our Boy Scouts. This is a troop that our First United Methodist Church proudly sponsors. We're glad you guys are out with us today. Next there is the Appalachian Trail community, seeking to keep the Appalachian Trail in good working order, keeping all the trash up. Do a great job, guys. Good to see you. Next, we have number 22. This is a special float. This float is to honor the memory of Master Sergeant Eric England. He was one of the veterans who passed away this year. Eric England was a sniper for the Army and is recorded of having done a great job while he was there. Next, we have a Ford Mustang from the Blairsville Cruisers. And A 1973 Ford Grand Turo, Nancy Quarles driving.
58.
Wayne Tanner, 59, is a red Jeep here that comes from honoring all veterans. And number 9, Tony Dyer in the 1972 Chevy truck. Good morning, Tony.
51.
Another beautiful Chevrolet pickup. First place in our civic group is the number 24 is the Union County Historical Society. Following the parade today, there will be a flag raising ceremony at the Union County War Memorial. It begins at 11 a.m. General Supply coming to us, bringing a very beautiful float with all these beautiful young ladies. We're glad you guys came out to be with us.
46.
Now from the Blairsville Cruisers, a 77 Ford 100. Tommy, if you preach that loud, we're going to hear you in Blairsville. Next, a good young man that's coming through our parade, Ricky Davenport. Now, Ricky's a fellow I've known for a long time, and he enjoys riding in these parades in a 1993 S10 Chevrolet. Next, the Union County Lions Club with a 2000 Jeep with float. Eugene Little driving, and we're glad you guys came out. This is another hard-working group in our county that do a lot of good for the citizens and are always trying to help someone. Good morning, Michael. Good to see you.
47. The police.
Next is a police cart, a Cushman meter maid. George and Patton is there. Right down from Lake Park, Georgia. Next, the Union County, Georgia magazine. Norm Cooper, editor. Good morning, Norm. First place in our business is the Lake Notley, correction, that's second place in the business, it looks like, the Lake Notley Improvement Association. Carolyn Pine and Gary Hogan. Thank you for all the good work you guys do out on the lake. Good job. Good morning. Good to see you, Lynn. Lynn. Lynn, be very cautious there driving your boat. Next, we have Albert Davenport, the 1961 Chevrolet Impala. Good morning, Albert. Hello, young ladies. Glad you guys came to be with us in the parade.
30.
Next, the Woodman of the World brings a beautiful Mustang to us. Now coming into the square is the American Legion Post 121, Auxiliary Sons of American Legion and Legion Riders. This is a great float. D.L. Martin was a World War II veteran. Jerry Koshmush was in the World War II Navy. Jimmy Pulliam.
56.
Blairsville Cruisers, a 1953 F100. Next comes a Model A Ford. Glad to have you with us, and Dick Heyer has brought that to us this morning. Next from the Blairsville Cruisers is a 68 Dodge Charger. Ed Butler, our driver.
35. 39.
39 is a 73 Javelin from the Cruisers. And Woody would like to sell his car. Good to see you. An El Camino brought to us by the Blairsville Cruisers. Glad to have you guys with us. Always a good time to see some of the vehicles many of us wish we could have owned. Blairsville Cruisers are a 36 Chevrolet. Steve and Andy Miller. A Chevrolet. Number 58, Wayne Tanner brings to us a 1965 Mustang. Good to see you, Wayne. '52, '59, '53. The Blue Ridge Mountain Jeepers, Beverly and George Karen brings the Jeeps to us from their club. And look at the tires on some of these things, and you'll see where they may have been. Just a bunch of something every teenager would like to have in his front yard or in the driveway is a Jeep. So look at all the fun you can have with a Jeep. Especially if you live in Blairsville come January, February, or sometimes March. I'm sorry I can't announce your names, but if you'll whistle at me, I'll try. Coming into the square next is the Navy Seabees Veterans of America, CB Island X3, a World War II Jeep, third place in the Civic.
37.
Rafters Truck and Trailer, first place in the business. Glad to have you guys with us. You do a good job, both at work and in parades. Rafters, Truck and Trailer. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. First place in the business is WCUG Radio, a local radio station that is always available. Tanner's 24-hour towing and recovery service. If you have a need, give Tanner's a call. They can help you out. Next is a 1996 M1078 light medium tactical vehicle, brought to you by Blairsville Off-Roaders. Haven Homes, Wesley Wood, and Ches Clampett. Glad to have you with me. And for those of you who are in Blairsville quite a lot, you might see these vehicles parked just behind us in the building. Advanced Disposal. Tony Sidebotham. Your trash is their business. They're happy to have all your trash. Advanced Disposal. And next, first place in the church division is St. Francis Catholic Church. Hugh McGill bringing it to us. Good morning, Sergeant. And veterans there, I'm sure all from St. Francis. Next comes the Union County Saddle Club. These are guys that always have a great time, and just a few miles out west of Blairsville is where you'll see a lot of rodeos and other things going on with our horse club. And another annual visit to our parade, the most important guy in town. Good morning, Robbie. We're glad you came. All gave some gave all, and he's here to pick up what's left. Okay, folks, it looks like this is our last entries. We appreciate you coming, and you got several things that you need to check out while you're here on the square, as well as going into the courthouse and listen to Sam and company with their music. Thank you again for coming to Blairsville. And let it be known, we love you all.
Thank you, Myron Turner, for the wonderful job of emceeing the parade. We thank you so much.
My name is Chuck Honaker, and I'll be your MC this morning. And I want to personally thank each and every one of you for being here today. We're here to remember our fallen heroes. Those men and women who believed in a cause greater than themselves, and they believed that this cause was worth even the risk of giving their own life for. It was worthy of fighting for also. That cause was freedom, liberty, and the American way of life. Each of them took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America from her enemies, both foreign and domestic. A great many of us here today took that same oath. That oath does not have an expiration date. All of us must remain vigilant that our Constitution is upheld and that our rights are not infringed upon. To do any less would be an insult to those that we are here to honor today. Sound attention. Please stand for the posting of the colors. Post the colors.
Present. Hawk.
Fort Horn.
At this time, we'll have the singing of our national anthem by Keith Bragg, followed by the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, banner gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Would you join me in prayer? Almighty God, we gather today on this sacred ground, realizing that you know and acknowledge the hearts of compassion, gratitude, and sorrow of each participant present here. We come once again to seek your divine mercy and ask that you would pour forth your abundant blessings as we commemorate the sacrifices made by men and women who died while serving in the armed forces of the United States. We here assembled testify that there is no greater sacrifice for our country than to serve and lay down our lives so that freedom, liberty, and justice will continue to be enjoyed by all. It is time to remember and pay homage to those who are listed on these granite monuments and those whose names are inscribed on thousands of monuments around the world. Wherever the mortal remains of comrades lie, there the ground is hallowed. We gather here to show our undying thanks for their role in making the world a safer, better place to live. It is only fitting that we also pause to remember fellow warriors who were killed or taken prisoner and are still unaccounted for. We will always hold a special place in our hearts for them. We also call upon you, dear Lord, to be a source of solace and comfort to all those families who have lost loved ones in times of war. Grant them the oil of joy for mourning and the garments of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Their pain and loss are still very real, and we ask that you would minister grace and healing to the wounds that they daily carry. Guide this time of solemn tribute and remembrance so that when we depart this consecrated ground today, it will be with a new sense of the meaning of service, sacrifice, courage, and freedom. We ask all these things in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Bill. You may be seated. At this time, we're going to do the raising of the different service flags. We're going to start off first with the POW flag. I'd like to take just a moment to read a poem that was left at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. The author is unknown. The war is over, so it is said. All men are home, or else they are dead. Don't you know I want to cry that some of us have refused to die? Where are your ears, my countrymen, when refugees tell you the state I'm in? Don't you care that I live in hell with only my soul left to sell? I wonder each night how much longer I can fight when your country has buried you alive. I've watched friends fade one by one. Despair killed them, not a gun. They died abandoned, forgotten, and alone because no one cared to bring them home. I too may go this way or find freedom on execution day. But you, my friend, will never be free if you are the one who has deserted me. This time we're going to raise the different service flags. If you would, please stand if it's your service and show respect. The Coast Guard. Always good to see Shelley Van Beers here, our Coast Guard representative of one. At this time, I'd like to stand and recognize the United States Air Force. Where's our Navy veterans? The Navy flag. United States Marine Corps. Okay, Army. Army flag. The Georgia state flag. And if you would all stand now as we pay tribute to the greatest flag in the world, the United States of America.
Honor guard, present. Oh.
Please be seated. This time I'd like to recognize some honored guests. First, I'd like to recognize Roy Hamby, Command Sergeant Major retired, as our Grand Marshal. It's good to see you here, Roy. And the Union County Nursing Home veterans, are they here today?
They went on the parade and they were too tired to stay.
Okay, well, we appreciate them.
We have a couple of World War II veterans that were there.
Okay, good deal. Is Barbara Davenport here? Nope. Okay. Union County Commissioner Lamar Paris. I know I saw you. There he is, back there. City of Blairsville Mayor Jim Conley. Sheriff Mac Mason, who is also a veteran. State Senator Stephen Gooch. And Representative Matt Gertler. I would also like to know if there are any POWs, any former POWs or their families present. No? This time I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. Rick Hack was born in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1951 and moved to Washington, D.C. as an infant. He grew up in Washington, D.C., Rockville, and St. Mary's County, Maryland, and entered the United States Marine Corps in March of 1971. His military training included Parris Island for recruit training, Camp Geiger, North Carolina for infantry training, and Aviation Supply School in Memphis, Tennessee. His duty stations included Cherry Point, North Carolina in 1971, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing in, bear with me, Iwakuni? Is that correct? All right. In May of 1972, Station Supply Department, Marine Aircraft Group 12 Forward in Benoit, Vietnam, near Saigon in October of 1982, and Supply Division, VMA 311 in Ben Hoa in November of 1972. VMA 311 is the A4E Skyhawk aircraft squadron who dropped the last bombs of the Vietnam War on January 28th of 1973. Returning to Iwakuni in February of 1973 with VMA 311, Rick did additional training in Naha, Okinawa. He returned to the United States in May of 1973, assigned to the Marine Corps Headquarters Squadron attached to Naval Air Supply Depot in Norfolk, Virginia. Rick transferred enlistment from active duty Marine Corps to the United States Naval Reserve in January of 1979. His duty stations included VAQ 209, Norfolk, Virginia, VA 42, Naval Air Station, Oceana, Virginia Beach, Virginia, and finally, Naval Logistical Support Squadron VR 56, Norfolk, Virginia, as a DC-9B aircraft loadmaster. Logging just under 2,000 hours flight time, he retired from the United States Naval Reserves in 1996. Rick's career outside of the military began in June of 1979 when he became a federal firefighter. His career federal firefighting assignments included Naval Air Station Oceana in Virginia Beach, Virginia from 1979 to 1994, and again from 1997 to 2001. Promotion to Assistant Fire Chief, Naval Air Station in Sigonella, Italy from 1994 to 1997. Assistant Fire Chief, Fire Protection Specialist, Naval Station Rota, Spain, 2001 to 2004. And promotion to Fire Chief, Naval Air Support Base, Crete, Greece, from 2004 to 2007. He retired from the Federal Fire Service in August of 2007 and moved to Georgia. Rick has been a member of the Veterans of Foreign War since 1996. He is now the Department of Georgia District 2 Commander, which is serving 12 VFW posts from Blairsville to Winder and coming to Hartwell. Rick and his wife Lynn have been married for 34 years. They have one daughter, Elizabeth, son-in-law Kelly, and 3 wonderful grandchildren, Troy, 10, Tyler, 8, Savannah, 6, last but not least, Maggie the Labrador. Please welcome Commander Rick Hack.
Short guy here. Someone asked me earlier today, are you nervous about what you're going to say? I said, well, kind of like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. No, I'm not nervous. But on a serious note, I want to thank you and thank Jerry Cannon and Robert Spalding for asking me to speak today, and I hope I'm worthy of that invite. So let me start by saying this is a beautiful park. Freedom is not free, just like your sign says. And today, I'm going to try to explain something that's very dear to my heart, is why we have a Memorial Day. Our 20th president, James Garfield, said, "For love of country, they accepted death, and thus resolved all doubts, and have made immortal their patriotism and their virtue." For many years, our forefathers and mothers have left big cities like New York and Chicago, and in small towns like here in Blairsville in Union County, and went to fight for our nation's freedom. So many left, yet sadly, so many did not return. Many of those that didn't return, they died in the fields of Gettysburg, the hills of Kennesaw Mountain. They died on the beaches of Normandy, in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Although many of those casualties were buried in areas where they died, they remain today. But they are never forgotten. Those of our dead that were returned to us were buried in little church cemeteries, private family cemeteries, and many in the national cemeteries like Arlington, Leesburg, Virginia, and also in Baltimore, Maryland. Just this past week, the Toccoa Record in Stevens County, the local newspaper, reported that the remains of Army Corporal Terrell J. Fuller, a Korean veteran who went missing on February 12, 1951, his remains were found. And they're going to be recovered, and they're going to be returned to Stevens County for interment here later in June. It wasn't until after the Civil War that America's need for a patriotic ceremony to honor its military dead became apparent. We built monuments to our fallen soldiers right here behind us. We hold ceremonies centering on the decoration of soldiers' graves in towns and cities, just like we are here today in Union County. An article reported by History.com said one of the first Memorial Day celebrations in the United States was by newly freed slaves on May 1st, 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina, and that about 1,000 free slaves, members of the U.S. colored troops, and some locals organized a ceremony to bury Union troops that had died due to the horrendous conditions at a prison that once was a racetrack. In 1950, Congress passed a resolution that in 1950, Congress passed a resolution requesting that the President issue a proclamation calling on Americans to observe Memorial Day as a day of prayer and permanent peace. In 1968, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which established Memorial Day as the last Monday in May in order to create a 3-day work week for federal employees. But Memorial Day didn't actually become an official holiday until 1971. Let me tell this small story because I saw something in the parade today that made me remember the significance of what I'm getting ready to tell you. My good friend, the late Captain William Allen Grimstead, Navy veteran, told me that he and his family drove from their home in Back Bay, Virginia. They went up to Arlington National Ceremony to witness the changing of the guard. Now, many of us have been to Arlington and we've seen the changing of the guard. It's a solemn ceremony. We look at that marble sarcophagus in awe of what it stands for and what it stands over. I saw today in your parade a replica of the sarcophagus, the Tomb of the Unknowns. I want to thank you for that. That was very honored. But Al and his family were no different than the rest of us that have been up there. Yet, while he was there, he stood and watched a 6'3" soldier from the 3rd Infantry Regiment, Company E of the Old Guard. He took 21 steps down the black mat, turned and faced the east for 21 seconds, then turned to face the north for 21 seconds, and then took another 21 steps, only to repeat this for 1 hour. My friend, a 6'4" country boy, about as strong as I've ever known, because if you ever got on his bad side, you realize how strong he was. He told me he felt such a range of emotions while standing there that it was hard to explain to us sitting around the table at the fire station that day. But it wasn't until his son, Timothy Lewis Grimstead, had been relieved after his 1 hour of sentinel duty protecting the Tomb of the Unknowns. A poppy. In the war-torn battlefields of Europe, the red field poppy was one of the first plants to grow. Its seeds, scattered by the wind, lay dormant in the ground, only germinating when the ground was disturbed, as it was by the very brutal fighting during World War I. The wearing of poppies in honor of the war dead is traditionally done on Memorial Day. The origin of the red poppy as a modern-day symbol was actually the idea of American professor and historian Miss Mona Bell Michael. The practice of wearing buddy poppies was further inspired by a poem called In Flanders Field, written in 1915 by a Canadian soldier, John McCrae, as he saw the poppies around his artillery position in Belgium. Today, poppies are both a symbol of life and a symbol of recovery and new life, especially in support of those servicemen and women who have been injured physically or emotionally. I said that many people confuse Memorial Day with Veterans Day, but we remember our military personnel who died in the service of their country in the fields of war. And today, Memorial Day is celebrated across the United States, regardless of where it originated. It is an important holiday that reminds us who died for our country, and further serves to remind people of the costly price of war. And my friends, this is why we have come today, to honor the dead on this Memorial Day. Let me close with a poem by George L. Skypeck. I was that which others did not want to be. I went where others feared to go, and did what others failed to do. I asked nothing for those who gave nothing, and reluctantly accepted the thought of eternal loneliness, should I fail. I have seen the face of terror, felt the sting of cold of fear, and enjoyed the sweet taste of a moment's love. I have cried, pained, and hoped, but most of all, I have lived times others would say were best forgotten. At least someday, I will be able to say that I was proud of what I was, a soldier. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. At this time, I'd also like to recognize the different commanders from the various service organizations we have. If they're here, please stand up. From the American Legion Post 121, Commander Mike Ayers, and President of the American Legion Auxiliary Post 121, President Lorraine Ayers. American Legion Riders Post 121, Director Darrell Rich. Sons of the American Legion Post 121, President Donald Allen. Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 11, Commander Skip Fishbach. Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 7394, Commander Richard Hoybrotten. Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1101, Senior Vice Commander Rich Eggleston. Marine Corps League, Detachment 783, Commander Gary Wimsett. Navy Seabees, Navy Seabee Veterans of America, Island X3, Commander Keith Hunter. The North Georgia Honor Guard, Commander Wayne Roshaven. At this time, will everyone please stand for the laying of the wreath?
Party, ready, aim. Port, off. Ready, aim, fire. Firing party, 10, hut, left, base. Ease it, top. Order, halt.
This time I'd like to ask Chaplain Bill Honaker to come up and lead us in the benediction.
Let us pray. Father God, you yourselves have taught us that no love is greater than that which gives itself for another. These honored dead gave the most precious gift they had, life itself, for loved ones and neighbors, for comrades and country. Today we remember a sacrifice made and a debt we can never repay. Though their names may fade with the passing of generations, may we never forget what they have done. Help us to be worthy of their sacrifice. Help us to honor their memory by caring for the family members that carry a heavy burden of sorrow and loss, by ensuring that their wounded comrades are properly cared for, by being watchful caretakers of the freedoms for which they gave their lives, and by demanding that no other young men and women follow them to a soldier's grave unless the reason is worthy and the cause is just. Lord, on this Memorial Day, we ask that you bless all those who continue to answer the call of their country and who are serving today in our armed forces in the most dangerous parts of the world. Give them unbounded strength and courage to continue their efforts for lasting peace. Make their victory a true service to all humanity. Surround them with a protective shield. Keep them alert and safe, and bring them to their home to their families and friends. We humbly ask all these things in thy most holy and precious name. Amen.
This time, we'll retire the colors.
Honor guard, present, halt. Order, halt. Parade, fast.
As we conclude today's ceremony, I would like to remind everybody that at the Historical Society, which is the old courthouse on the square, they'll have a military collection on display. Please feel free to go up there and check that out. They really have some interesting and things from different eras. I also want to, again, thank each and every one of you for really starting your Memorial Day holiday off in the right way by honoring those that have fallen. Too many times people think it's just about the sales and cookouts and all that, and those things are cool. I like to eat just like the rest of us, but y'all have started it off in the right way, and that's showing respect and honor. Well, until next year, we stay dried this year for the most part. Till next year, God willing, happy Memorial Day to you. This concludes our ceremony.